Hey everyone, and welcome. Have you ever wondered, how much fence you'd need for a new yard? Or maybe how much tape you'd need to frame a picture just right? Well, whether you realize it or not, you're talking about perimeter. And today, we're going to get to the bottom of it. We're measuring the edge of everything. Really, when you strip it all down, perimeter is just the answer to a super simple question. If you were to trace the entire boundary of a shape, what's the total distance you've covered? That's it. That's the whole idea. Okay, so let's lock in a crystal clear definition. What exactly is this measurement we call perimeter? The word itself is actually a huge clue. It comes from two Greek words, peri, which means around, and metron, which means measure. So if you put them together, perimeter literally just means to measure around something. It's that simple. It's the path that encloses a shape. Now, here's a really key concept that trips some people up. Even though we're measuring a 2D shape, like a square on a piece of paper, the perimeter itself is actually a one-dimensional measurement. Just think of it like a single straight line. It's just a length, and we measure it in units like meters or feet or inches. And speaking of units, oh man, they are absolutely critical. A perimeter isn't just the number 10. Is that 10 feet, 10 miles, 10 light years? It has to be 10 centimeters or 10 miles. Forgetting your units is probably the number one mistake people make, so burn this into your brain right now. Okay, so definitions are great and all, but to really get it, we need to visualize this. Let's build a mental picture of what this distance around actually looks like. So I want you to imagine something with me. Picture a big grassy field or a park. Now, imagine you're standing at one corner and you start walking, but you have to stay right on the very edge, tracing its exact boundary. You keep walking, turning each corner, until you've gone along every single side and you're right back where you started. That total distance you just walked? Boom, that is the perimeter. And here's another awesome way to think about why it's a 1D measurement. Imagine we could take some scissors, snip one corner of that square, and just unfold it. Straighten it all out into one long line. The length of that line, you guessed it, that's the perimeter. All right, so we get the concept, we can visualize it, but how do we actually, calculate it? Well, there's one universal method that will work for pretty much any shape with straight sides. It's the bedrock. For any polygon, that's just a fancy word for a shape with straight sides, the method is always the same. You just add up the length of every single side. That's it. So for this triangle here, we've got sides of 3 centimeters, 4 centimeters, and 5 centimeters. So we just add them up. 3 plus 4 is 7, and 7 plus 5 is 12. But wait, we're not done. The answer isn't 12. It's 12. What? 12 elephants? No, it's 12 centimeters. I'm telling you, don't forget your units. It's what gives the number its entire meaning. Okay, so adding up all the sides will always get you the right answer. It's foolproof. But for certain regular shapes, there are shortcuts, little life hacks that make the whole thing way faster. It's about working smarter, not just harder. So, for a square, all 4 sides are the same length, right? So instead of adding side plus side plus side plus side, you just multiply the length of one side by 4. Done. For a rectangle, you can just add the length and the breadth together and then double it. And for any regular polygon, where all the sides are equal, it's just the number of sides times the side length. So much easier. All right, let's level up. It's time to apply what we've learned to a trickier problem. What happens when the puzzle isn't complete? What if you aren't given all the information you need? Okay, take a look at this shape. It's a bit funky, right? And notice, we only know the lengths of 4 of its 6 sides. So how in the world are we supposed to find the perimeter if we have missing pieces? This is where we have to put on our detective hats. The absolute key here is to use what you do know to figure out what you don't know. Okay, let's hunt down that missing vertical side first. Look at the 2 vertical sides we do know on the left. One is 4 inches and the other is 6 inches. See how they have to add up to the total height of that big missing side on the right? So 4 plus 6, that gives us 10 inches for that side. Easy enough? Now let's do the same thing for the horizontal sides. The bottom length is 10 inches, and that other little horizontal piece is 5 inches. Together, they have to match the total length of that long missing side on the top. So 10 plus 5 is 15 inches. And just like that, we found our missing lengths. Okay, the hard part's over. Now we know all 6 side lengths. 4, 5, 6, 10, 10 again, and 15. All we have to do is go back to our universal method and add them all up. And the grand total for the perimeter is 50! 50 what? Come on, you know this. 50 inches. Yes. And before we wrap up, there's one final super important point. Please, please, please do not confuse perimeter with area. They are two totally different things. Remember, perimeter is the 1D distance around the shape. It's the fence. Area is the 2D space the shape covers. It's the grass inside the fence. Different measurements, different units, different meanings. So, you see, perimeter is so much more than just a formula in a math book. It's this fundamental idea, the measure of a boundary. And we use it everywhere, from something as simple as fencing a yard to something as complex as designing a circuit board. Now that you've got the tools to measure the edge of any space, it kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? What boundaries will you explore next?